Number three on our draft board. Straight out of Barrington, Illinois. This man used to dominate on the ice, and now he's dominating on the field. A Chicago suburb lover. A man who would look phenomenal in a Bears uniform. A man who was a standout as a JV on the freshman football team. What am I talking about? I don't know. But
you're talking about what you read in Dave Brugler's draft guide.
Yes, that. Where did my picture go? Give me back Lukas Van Ness, the 6'5" Iowa Hawkeye, who some people care that he didn't start any games, but Adam Hoge does not, because he has him coming to the Bears at 9 overall. Some say undersized too, or at least underweight at 272 at 6'5". But hey, he is number 3 on our draft board. Welcome to the Hawkeyes. Welcome, perhaps, to the Bears, Lukas Van Ness.
Yeah, definitely could be realistic at number 9 in today's Bears Mock Draft 3.0. He is the pick as we stayed with the number 9. We stuck with number 9. Great number, by the way, my favorite number. But another guy we're talking about with Tyree Wilson, who has the ideal size and length to play defensive end, hand in the ground, and a 4-3 defense. Obviously has that experience at Iowa too. We're talking about a guy who already has that power you're looking for. His bull rush caused problems for Paris Johnson Jr. If you turn on that tape, he caused one of the few guys that has put any blemishes on Peter Skoronski's tape. Really good player here. Another thing gets me going, as you guys know, a couple special teams plays. Blocked a couple punts against Iowa State this year. With those long arms, which is a little different than knocking down passes, but you know, we were talking about that with Tyree Wilson, and so Van Ness can do it. And he also kicked inside on sub packages. He's got experience playing in the B gap, which is interesting. So something the Bears could probably utilize there in some sub packages. I think he just needs some seasoning and some coaching when it comes to his pass rush moves, which aren't necessarily polished, but. Look, a lot's been made of the fact that he didn't start at Iowa. I went on a little rant about that a couple weeks ago. I did do weird stuff at Iowa, okay?
Kirk Ferentz's fault.
Seniority is great. The reality is he played the most snaps. He had the majority of the snaps. He probably would have had even more if Iowa was smarter about that. But his level of production was starter level, even though he didn't get as many snaps. So if he had all the snaps he probably should have gotten, being a player that could have been on the field the entire game, his production could have been even better than it already was, which is fine. So if you're going to draft him number 9, you're going to play him the whole game. You're going to get him on the field a lot, and that production could be there. So I like Lukas Van Ness. We got him at 3 on our board.
Nick, you love him.
I do love Lukas Van Ness. The speed to power that he shows on what was, again, not a starter level reps, but he did play the most reps out of the defensive lineman there at Iowa. But the ideal length, the motor is going to be exactly what Matt Eberflus is looking for there. But I think Adam hit on it. It's a seasoning that he needs to show as a pass rusher. And I think what's going to be important for Van Ness if he were to go to the Bears, you have to trust the coaching that you have there. And so you have Travis Smith, the D-line coach, who's in his first year with the Bears. He had a guy at the Raiders with Max Crosby. He was a 4th-round draft pick. They're almost identical in the length. Van Ness is a little heavier, but you see what Max Crosby is as a player in the NFL. Someone that wasn't guaranteed to be a disruptive pass rusher, but now is. You kind of need to trust in your coaching to get the most out of a Van Ness at the next level, but he's got the traits. He maybe doesn't have the production. He obviously doesn't have the production like a Will Anderson, but that's what you're banking on is the potential of this prospect and what he can translate to the next level. And that versatility, bump inside if he has to. He has that twitchiness, that burst. So a lot to like with Van Ness. And if he's there at 9, you guy that's nicknamed Hercules dating Cole Kmet's sister, a lot to like with the Bears connections here.
That has been a major feather in the cap of Lukas Van Ness. Great choice of family. Also seeing Kevin Fishbane making an appearance today, pointing out the Hoge slander of Iowa that Nick and I should not let stand because, you know, some people think that Iowa stands for idiots out wandering around. Those people are actually the idiots. Also, Lawrence, of course, diehard Hawkeye. A lot of Hawkeyes here.
I've never heard that, but I am definitely going to use that.
Oh, yeah, that's what the Iowa State fans would say, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Iowa
I
State's
gave you
really-
that one. But so
That's what Iowa State fans would say.
Maybe it was, I don't know, could have
Could-
been Illinois
could you
fans.
turn that around on
Yeah, it might
Iowa
have been.
State with
It might
some
have been
creativity?
Illinois or
Yeah.
someone. I did hear that back in the day.
we don't acknowledge Iowa State. and
Whatever. We're
Iowa.
just a bunch of fibs here. We don't know what we're talking about.
Dane Brugler, just reading from the Beast. Overall, Van Ness needs coached up with his pass rush construction and overall pacing. But to all the people in the chat who are dogging on Van Ness, he is an ascending player and competes like yeah, you said it, grizzly bear with his fierce power and explosive twitch.
Make him a bear.
He has the upside of an impactful NFL starter with inside-outside versatility, regardless of scheme. That makes me feel good about the Van Ness potential number 9 overall addition.